what can founders or sales leaders do to increase the productivity of their salespeople?
Yeah, I think it's firstly, I mean, document what you have learned, right, or what you
Mm-hmm.
developed. There is so much of wisdom into the fountain of founder insights where the team should be drinking out of, and that
Mm-hmm.
generally doesn't exist, right? I mean, you don't, I mean, everybody is busy. There are like so many conflicting priorities for everybody in a fast-growing team, right? So as a founder or as an early sales leader in an early stage company, if you figured out like something is working, you're hitting product market fit, you are getting traction, start documenting your playbook, right? Start, even if like it will change, that's great, but start documenting that. Keep iterating on it. Just like you're iterating on your product, your playbooks also need those iterations, but you need to start with those. Invest into enablement early on.
Mm-hmm.
Today you might be like 2 or 3 salespeople, expand to 5 people. It's all manageable. But if you continue to grow and you see traction, you need to grow to from 5 people to 20, 20 to 50, 50 to 100. And that's the opportunity, right? But if you don't invest into enablement early on, it becomes super hard to scale. Like you might like hire people, but then time to productivity and ramping those
Mm-hmm.
guys becomes harder. Maintaining the win rates. So founders or VP sales early on might have a very high win rate, but the win rate reduces with time. The yield comes down, productivity reduces. So if you have enablement as a key investment from early on, what it does is it becomes your force multiplier and becomes like the X factor for in your GTM growth strategy.
Yeah.
So that's the second thing. Third is like evaluating the right tools. So I think tech stack gets complex in no time. So it's
Yeah.
important to like really carve out your selling journey, your buying journey, or buyer journey on evaluating your product, and then see what fits best to support a particular segment of that journey, and invest into the tools around it. So that tech stack is important, and that brings me to the point of RevOps. Right,
Mm-hmm.
revenue operations is an important function. It's an unsung hero in the whole sales
Yeah.
ecosystem. It's important to get them early on. It's not just important to get a CRM administrator, but like a proper RevOps professional who
Yeah.
can tie together the tech stack, who can like link back the buying process, selling process, who can also look at what enablement needs and provide that data. And data is like scattered across different data sources. So they can help you bring it together. And then they can also help drive that cadence that's required to drive productivity, to drive the quarter, to drive the forecast. So RevOps becomes very important. And then finally, as founders, it's important for you to consistently look at where the friction exists in the sales
Mm-hmm.
process. And your job should be to consistently take that friction out of the sales process. Reduce wherever there is a friction, take time away from whatever is like unproductive activity, not a non-selling activity
Mm-hmm.
that needs to be minimized. So you should continue to keep looking at like where your reps are spending time, where they, which stage of the deal you have the most friction. And most of the time, it leads to internal collaboration and gaps, not as much as competitor or the buyer. It's
Yeah.
all internal as you scale. So how do you like make that collaboration better? So these are some of the areas where sales leaders or founders should spend time to like boost the productivity of their team.